Evening, YouTube. How's it going? It's awesome to be back. Video number 2. I like to thank everybody so far who's just been incredible, and I have like almost 150 some views already on my one video. I think that's really cool, and some people bother to subscribe. I think that's unbelievable. Somehow I'm going to figure out how to find out who subscribed so I can go look at your stuff and maybe subscribe to your gear so we can keep this thing going. I would really like to do that. So far, so good. I'm really digging it. This is my update in response to Yellow Jacket on one of his, the Yellow Jacket. He threw out a little shout to me and asked me a couple of questions about, and I'd like to respond to those, and also like to pay him a little bit of homage later on. But he asked me what I learned while making my first video, and I think it's actually, what's the word? I think it's a very appropriate question for this point in my YouTube-ness. So he asked, what have I learned? And he talked about what he learned. Again, I think it's appropriate for him. It's absolutely appropriate for me being a brand Nubian. So again, what did I learn? Well, 2 aspects to that. So what did I learn about making videos? I learned to make some notes. So I made some notes. Now, quite frankly, I made a little too many notes. So you're gonna see me like looking down a little bit. I'm gonna invest in a teleprompter later and become a full-fledged pro. But I learned that I do have to take a couple of notes. There were a few key things I left out. Now, I made a lot of mistakes and I fumbled over my words, but quite frankly, I actually, the videos I enjoy most are the videos, or the videoers, or the channels, excuse me, where everyone does it on one take, where they get in. Now, excuse me, it might not be the first or only take that they perform, but they put out their one best take, where they get up and they have a conversation with you, the viewer. Now, there's a lot of guys out there that have their image kind of fades in and out, and they do their best cuts, and I think that serves a purpose, and I think that's fine. Like if you do more along lines of an educational thing, you want to perfect your message or your image, or sometimes the videos are like a little campy, so just want to make sure that their performance is spot on. But for somebody who's just trying to relate their thoughts to you, I think having mistakes and making little errors and maybe throwing a cliche in there and getting it wrong is awesome. I think it's totally appropriate for this kind of venue, and you're gonna see me just doing one take, unless I'm doing something campy, and that's also assuming that I learn how to do editing videos, which I don't really have an aptitude or a desire to do. I think this works best for me. So again, thanks. But so absolutely, but the problem is, when not having some notes, I omitted a few things, and I have a tendency to get diarrhea of the mouth, run off at the mouth, and but I did omit a few things, a few points I wanted to make, and I think I didn't make it clear exactly what I was trying to say. I think in the end I was trying to make it, to leave it up to you guys to infer what I was saying, and I think that's okay. But I did leave out a few things, but I didn't want to redo it. I want to have it stand for what it was, my first try with improvements in the future. And I'm getting more comfortable with this, and I'm staring at the right space on my cameras. It doesn't look like I'm staring over there and talking to that and whatever. So it's getting pretty cool. But my production will improve. I came up with I keep kicking the table, I'm sorry. I came up with an analogy. I feel like, actually, like with the first video was like kissing my first chick, is that with the second chick, I'm not gonna be any better at it. I'm just gonna be less nervous with it, right? So, anyway, and I'm usually not this serious, but actually I'm usually not serious about anything unless it comes to guns. Like when I have friends over and we talk guns and stuff and they want to goof, I'm kind of like, stop goofing around. I'm being dead serious right now, and they can't take me serious. And quite frankly, I've hard time taking myself serious anyway. But anyway, so my production level will improve, maybe throwing some music there. I used to have a band that nobody knows about. I'm my biggest fan of, so I might leave a little link in there, maybe throwing some of my own tunes. You might get to hear me sing or something. It could be pretty cool. I don't know. Amen. Hardballing, rock on. So that's what I learned about making videos. I'm not very good at it, but I'm gonna get better, and I had a great time doing it. So what else did I learn about me? Okay, and this, in a way, is a thank you to the Yellow Jacket. Again, barely know the guy, met him a few times. He's wrote me a couple emails or responses through Get Off the X, and he threw me a shout on his video. Again, really awesome, because he's actually in like first place with this little citizen journalist thing. He's like has the most views, and quite frankly, I've listened to all the messages. I personally like his message the best, but again, that's my personal opinion. So I'm actually rooting for the man. I really am. I'm rooting for you, buddy. Do it up. But you can throw me one of those days of training if you want to win him. But I digress. So in the beginning, this is what I learned about me. In the beginning, quite frankly, I was overly concerned with winning. I was looking for validation, and I was looking for validation via number of views, number of likes or subscribes, and I was looking for validation, quite frankly, if I won or not. But I think I forgot that this contest is more important than that. This is the overall message, okay? The overall message with this contest, with the original video, the contest associated with the original video, it's just quite frankly more important than that. It's the overall message. The message is more important than my personal gain or anything like that, or my personal validation. So instead of validation via views, okay, I want my validation to come from within. Did I give it my best shot? And quite frankly, did I take a shot? It's something I wanted to do, and I did it. And in my life, I usually accomplish what I set my mind to. I look back in my life, I haven't set my mind to that many great and amazing things. But what I've accomplished, what I accomplished, I did. I bought a home. I graduated college. I killed college, guys. I killed it. I actually graduated honors. I don't know how the hell I did that, to be honest with you. I didn't learn, quite frankly, that much, and I was a terrible student. But I set my mind to it, and I did it. I can't tell you one thing I learned, but I did it. So usually what I set my mind to, I accomplished. I wanted to, me and my band, I wanted to complete and publish an album. I did that. So with this, I wanted to start this. I wanted to get my thoughts out there. Now, what are my thoughts? That's the key. So this is something I also learned, is I was, in the beginning, overly concerned with finding my voice, if that makes sense. I'm a professional educator, or at least I try to be. Like wherever I work, whatever I do, I try to get involved in training and things like that. I'm a certified teacher in the state of Pennsylvania, but I'm not actively teaching. I work for the government. I work for the IRS, actually. We can still be friends. But when I'm doing there, I coordinate training, I deliver training, I write training materials. I get up in front of a room of 50, 60 people. I deliver PowerPoints, and PowerPoints are probably going to be my key method of presentation in the future. But that's what I do. I'm a professional educator, and when I first started teaching, I had to try to find my voice. And what I found myself doing, and it actually is relatable to having a band and making music. When you first start making music, and this is something that separates normal singers from decent singers from amazing singers, okay, or songwriters, or bands in general, is finding your voice, finding your sound, and it takes time. What you usually start out doing is imitating people. You imitate people that you see. You imitate the singers that you've heard, or the singers that you grew up with, or something like that. I had a tendency to sound a little too much Ozzy, all right, a little too much Iron Man, a little too much War Pigs, and eventually I found my voice. Now my voice actually does, when I found it, it sounded a lot like Ozzy, but that's okay. I can be inspired by Ozzy and still be original. With teaching, when I found my teacher voice, I took all the things I learned and then I found it within myself to use to find that voice, to find that sound. And with this, I think I was afraid I was either imitating too much or not imitating enough. And quite frankly, I wanted to find my own voice. And I'm inspired by a lot of these other videos too, and I feel like I have found my own voice. And again, relating things to music, I'm not trying to be analogous, but it's just working out that way, is I'm trying to find a voice, okay? And I realize that the voice doesn't have to be solo voice. It doesn't have to be that heavy metal guitar, whammy bar, la-da-diddy-do. It doesn't have, you don't have to always be Eddie Van Halen. You can find your own voice. You could be finding your own voice to complete a harmony, finding your own voice to complete a chorus, finding your own voice within this total message, like with this contest, okay? What I have to say within the context of this entire contest, I think is appropriate. So I'm trying to find, or I think I'm getting close to finding my voice within a culture of like mind, okay? So I'm finding a voice that is in concert with people around me and people of like mind, and I think that's a really, really cool thing. So challenge out there to everybody is to find your own voice, okay? Find your own voice. You don't have to stand out. You don't have to be 100% innovative. You don't have to be the guy that changes the world, or at least you don't have to intend to save the world or change the world. You can change it, through you can inadvertently change the world, guys. You can get your message out there, and you can change minds. You really can. My goal is to change minds of people I know, people I work with, my family. I'm going to interview my mother. I already decided on all kinds of videos in the future. I'm really stoked. And if I can't change their mind, I just might change their point of view just a little bit. But I'd really like to say thank you very much again to Yellow Jacket for giving me a little bit of advertisement on his video. He seems to be a really awesome guy. I'm enjoying everything he does, and quite frankly, I think he has an amazing perspective, an amazing point of view, and he's bringing something that's very relative, or he's connecting things from the past to things that are going on now. Okay, because the media and propaganda and all those things, it hasn't changed. Those things get viewers. Those things sell newspapers. Those things buy votes. Okay, but again, if we're going to change minds and we're going to change hearts, it's going to take all of us, all our voices acting in concert. I've gone on for 10 minutes, guys. I appreciate everything, and that's my update video. You guys keep on rocking and be cool. All right? Talk to you soon.